Yusuf, what can you tell us from there?
But as you've rightly put it, we're still keeping vigil here at the National Tallying Center, right here at the Bomas of Kenya. But there is a flurry of activity happening, especially inside the auditorium, because that is where the agents representing all the presidential candidates are busy, burning the midnight oil, trying to verify, to validate the votes they're getting from the various polling stations across the country. Any moment from now, Ben, we do expect a press briefing by the IEBC. We still don't know whether it's the IEBC chair or whether it's the CEO is going to address the media, but we do expect that briefing any moment from now. What is happening inside the auditorium is that some of the presidential agents there, the IEBC commissioners, the staffs from the IEBC, especially those from the IT department, they're going, through these results, trying to compare notes between, the all-important Form 34B, which everyone has been talking about, by the way. They're trying to check if it relates with the text they have been receiving from the various presiding officers across all the polling stations. Now here in our makeshift studio at the Bomas of Kenya, I'm not alone. I'm together with Kevin Osido, who is a governance expert. Kevin, good evening. You've been following this proceeding right from the beginning when the validation is still going on. What are some of the observations you've made so far? Are there some discrepancies that the NASA agents have raised so far? Is there any sort of alarm?
Yeah, precisely. And this is a very important exercise because this really will have to determine who becomes the next president of Kenya. You note that earlier on, the chairman asked the country to disregard the figures that are appearing on the screens. And I think that was much more mature of the commission to be able to do that. Of course, we also expect that after this validation and verification of results is done, then we expect that the commission will be able to make the final announcements.
Kevin, so far so good. Of course, the commission has been receiving results from so many polling stations. And up until now, I've spoken to several commissioners at the auditorium. They're saying up until now, the agents, especially those from the NASA and their IT experts, are yet to raise any kind of huge kind of discrepancies within these results.
Precisely. And in fact, why this is probably going to take much more time is we are expecting to receive 290 Form 32Bs.
Yes.
Rather Form 34Bs. And what this means is that the 290 are constituencies, but the verification officials from the IEBC have only received 21 from 21. So we have a very long way to go. And so what the presidential candidates agents are doing right now is, of course, to look at what their agents have on the ground vis-a-vis what is appearing on the Forms 34As, which then form or rather comprise the details of what is in Form 34B. And this is important because ultimately that will be the do or die of why the country is being kept in this kind of limbo. And so in my opinion, I think that what probably the commission should have done with the presidential candidates, of course, in consultations with the agents who are here, was to agree on a sample, because doing this for 290, and if you go further, because Form 34Bs are going to be from all the polling stations, which are more than 40,000. And so far, if you look at 621 out of 290 out of 40,000, you only have probably 1,000 polling stations.
We're going to stay here a bit longer.
This is going to take much more longer time. Yeah.
Speaking about the agents on the ground, especially those of NASA, well, it seems to me from the observation I've made, it's like they don't have direct contact with their agents. They've tried to call some of them, and if you look at the Jubilee side, their agents are hands-on. They have all the details from the agents. What does it mean for NASA?
This, Hassan, is very is troubling, I would say, because if you look at even from President Uhuru Kenyatta's table, right inside the hall, they're not. There's not so much of work going on because everyone is there, but they are saying we are okay with the results as they are, and we are waiting for our main rivals. As long as they feel this needs to go on, it is okay. And
they've done their homework seriously.
Exactly. They, in fact, rather engaging with them inside the hall, they are much more confident, and they are like, yeah, we have no problem. We will wait. If this will make the process credible and free and fair, then let's go on. But again, you ask the question of the agents, which really presents a much more significant question insofar as electoral preparations of political parties is concerned. Odoro Ngweni, who is executive director of NASA, is actually of ODM, which is one of the principal parties of NASA, is inside the hall. And engaging with them again, I think that what this means is, of course, even for the political parties to be able to speak to their followers out there, because I think as this is going on, the country is also being kept in this serious limbo, and people are wondering what is happening. We went to vote, and how come now our numbers are not counting? How come our votes are not counting in this process? And so I think, again, that their presence here is of utmost importance, and that therefore means, in my view, that they need to also inform who is supposed to speak to the populace, to just ensure that there is calm, there is humility, people are going to continue living in peace, regardless of what is going on, and disregarding all these messages that we are seeing on social media.
Kevin, of course, the president is still leading the rest. These are provisional results. Once again, we'd like to tell our viewers these are provisional results. They're not official results. But the president is leading by about 8 million plus votes. Do you think there are some kind of discrepancies that can emerge from the verification process that might turn tables?
From what I have seen...
Because they're also saying this is a done deal. Yeah, seriously.
From what I have seen inside the hall, and this is why especially the NASA agents need to be very keen. There are forms that are coming in with much more of repeated signatures, and you can tell from the handwritings. It's more or less one person, or maybe two people, or even four people who had a similar handwriting. Some of the signatures are also similar, and as an interested party, in this process, as a voter, I have had to really grill down the IEBC officials who are there, and we've had to go through that until even asking them for the soft copies, and we've seen exactly what is going on. But this therefore means that, again, you know that the law requires that for the IEBC to declare one the president-elect, it means that you must be able to garner 50% plus one of the votes. And so this is, again, much more work for IEBC, because beyond just the tallies that is going on here, IEBC will have to determine, did the person that we are going to declare as the president get 24, at least half of the
counties,
of the 47 counties, because then that is how you arrive at the 50% plus one.
Of course. Thank you, Kevin, for your input. Of course, the conversation continues here at the Bomas of Kenya at a time when we do expect a briefing or some sort of an update from the IEBC commissioners, either by their chairman Ofula Chebukati or the CEO Ezra Chiloba. We're still here at the National Tallying Center where the votes tallying, or rather votes of verification and validation, is still going on. All the presidential agents are here burning the midnight oil just to make sure that the country gets a credible results. For now, let me return you back to Joy Dorimbira, who is on